I've been working the graveyard shift at a rundown gas station off Highway 12 for just over 3 years now. It's not much, just a lonely outpost between two dying towns. The kind of place with flickering lights, broken pumps, and a soda machine that hums loud enough to drown out your thoughts. My co-workers don't last long. They say the hours are brutal, the isolation worse. But I never minded the silence, at least not at first. Things used to be simple, a few truckers passing through, the occasional drunk stumbling in for cigarettes or cheap beer. The radio played softly in the background, and I'd read or scroll through my phone. Boring, sure, but easy money. That all changed one night. It was just after 2 a.m. when he first showed up. Tall man. Black hoodie pulled over his head. He walked straight to the fridge, grabbed a bottle of water, and set it down on the counter. Didn't say a word, just pulled a handful of coins from his pocket and placed them in front of me. All quarters, every single one dated 1964. I remember that because one of them looked almost new. No scratches, no fading like it had just come from the mint. I made a quiet joke. "You collect these or something?" He didn't respond. Just stood there until I handed him his change, which he never took, and then left. I shrugged it off. But then he came back. The next night, same exact time, same hoodie, same silence. He bought a pack of gum, paid in 1964 quarters again. This went on for days. Every night just after 2:07 a.m. he'd walk in. One item, no talking, always paid in quarters from the same year. After a week I got curious. I started keeping the coins in a small drawer under the register. I told myself it was just coincidence. Maybe some old stash of change he'd found in an attic. Maybe a weird collector with a poor sense of timing, but deep down I knew something wasn't right. One night I tried to speak up. I said, "You okay, man?" "You look pale." Nothing. He just stood there, breathing slow, fogging up the freezer glass behind him. When he left, I checked the security footage. That's when I noticed the first glitch. Right as he entered the store, the timestamp on the camera froze, just for a second or two. Then it jumped forward like those few seconds were erased. His face was always blurry, not motion blur, just smeared, as if the camera couldn't quite focus on him. I showed the footage to my manager. She shrugged and said the system was old, but she also said something that chilled me. "You sure someone came in?" I nodded. "You don't see him?" She stared harder. "I see the door open, but nobody walks through." I didn't sleep that day. The next night I printed a receipt to prove he'd been there. When he showed up at 2:07 a.m., I rang him up, hit print, and the receipt machine jammed. It screeched, then spat out half-burned paper with no ink on it. He didn't flinch, just dropped the coins on the counter again, one at a time, deliberate, like a ritual. This time I followed him. Quietly slipped out behind him, careful not to make a sound. He walked around the side of the building. I kept close, but the second I turned the corner, he was gone. No car, no footsteps, no echo, just a faint metallic clink in the air like a coin hitting concrete far away. I walked back inside. The coins were still there, ice cold, colder than anything should have been, even in winter. I tried to shake it off. Maybe I was tired, maybe I needed a break. But things only got worse. It started with the radio. Every time he entered, the music would cut, static for a second. Then a jingle would play, a cheery tune from an old car dealership commercial. I hadn't heard that in years, not since I was a kid riding in my dad's truck. It was for Harlan Motors, where the deals are scary good. The dealership burned down in the 90s. Everyone who worked there died in the fire, but the jingle played clear as ever. Then the dream started, always the same. I'd be standing inside the station, the lights off, the hum of the soda machine louder than usual, the coolers glowing red. He'd be there, back turned, staring into the fridge. I'd walk closer, slowly, nervously. But when I got near him, he turned. And it wasn't his face staring back, it was mine, only older. Pale, lifeless, with dark circles around the eyes. I'd wake up in a cold sweat every time. My hands clenched so tight I'd have fingernail marks in my palms. After 2 weeks of this, I took one of the coins to a local pawn shop. Figured maybe they'd have answers. The owner was this older guy who'd seen just about everything. But when I showed him the coin, his face changed. "Where'd you get this?" he asked. "From a customer," I said. He turned it over. "This isn't a regular quarter." "What do you mean?" "It's a replica," he muttered. "Weight's off. Metal composition is strange. And see this?" He pointed to the rim. "It's smooth. Quarters from 1964 had ridges, this one doesn't." "So, fake?" "Not exactly. I've only seen one other like it." "When?" "Back in the 70s. A man came in with a bag full of them, wanted to trade for gas money. Said he found them in an old barn near Highway 12. A few days later, they found his body burned. No ID, just a black hoodie. I left the coin there and didn't look back. Back at the station, I checked the incident logs we kept in the back. Buried under years of dust and expired coupons, I found a thin binder labeled Emergencies, 1960s. Inside was a police report, dated October 3rd, 1964. Late night robbery, clerk shot and killed. Suspect fled on foot with bag of quarters. Suspect was never identified. The victim, Thomas Reeve, my grandfather. He died before I was born. My mom never talked about him much. Said he died young. I always thought it was illness or accident. I called her that night. I asked carefully if Grandpa ever worked at a gas station. She went silent. Then she said, "Who told you that?" I didn't answer. She hung up. Now I can't shake the feeling that I wasn't hired here by chance, that something drew me here. Maybe the job was always meant for me. The man still comes, every night, 2:07 on the dot, and he always leaves one coin. I've counted 26 now. They sit in a box under my bed wrapped in cloth so I don't have to see the dates. But last night something changed. He didn't just leave the coins, he spoke. He set the quarter down, looked me in the eyes and said, "Almost time." His voice didn't sound human. It was layered, like someone whispering over a loudspeaker from far away. Then he turned and left. This morning I checked the quarter, same date, but scratched into the edge were 2 words. "Join me." I don't think he wants to buy anything anymore. I think he's waiting. And I think once I collect the final coin, I'll find out what happens to people who take the same job their grandfather died doing. Because some transactions aren't about money. They're about debt. And mine might be due.